Well, good morning and welcome to day 88 in our journey through the Word. Been interesting reading and thinking and pondering on today's reading. And I come back to Genesis 15, where God tells Abraham, "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you and reward you, and your reward will be great." That was one of God's first promises to Abram, and that was before he changed his name, if we remember, to Abraham. "Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you, and your rewards will be great." So the Lord made a covenant with Abram that day and said, "I have given this land to your descendants, all the way from the border of Egypt to the great Euphrates River." And we see in today's reading the conclusion of that, where it says, "So the Lord gave to Israel all the land he had sworn to their ancestors." This was a covenant made by God to Abram hundreds of years before. A promise made, a promise fulfilled. In due season, all God's promises will be accomplished. Then his people will acknowledge that the Lord has exceeded their largest expectations. If you could ask that question of Abram today, and him looking back on what his descendants received, do you think the answer would be yes? I think it would be. Has God made a promise to you? Are you still waiting for that promise to be fulfilled? Could it be that it might not be fulfilled until you are with him in paradise? Remember Abram and the promised land, David and the building of the temple, the thief on the cross, and eternity in heaven. Has God ever worked in your life and you expected one thing and God did something totally different beyond what you ever expected? Again, if you could ask Abram that question, I think he would say, absolutely yes. If you ask that question of David, as we'll learn in days ahead about the building of the temple and the promise made that his son would build that temple in Jerusalem, the answer would be yes. If you could ask that question of the thief on the cross, who Jesus looked at and said, "Today you will be with me in paradise," his answer would be absolutely yes, beyond what they ever expected. The fulfillment of a promise made. I know today's video is short, but I want us to ponder those words today. What promise has God made to you? What promise from his word has he made to you? Are you still waiting? Don't give up. Abraham didn't, and he didn't see the fulfillment of the promise. Did he from heaven? One day maybe we can find that out. But the promise was fulfilled. A promise from God is always something we can bank on. I must learn to trust God's promises and trust God's timeline, and remember that he is El Shaddai, God Almighty. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Word.